I don't know, Danielle's kind of setting me up a little bit here. I don't know how exciting these changes are, but we're doing the best we can, and with the circumstances that we have. So let's jump right into this. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, Danielle, looks like it says it's been disabled. So if there's a way to allow me to share my screen, that would be good. I know, shoot, we should have went through this, huh? Let's see.
Advanced sharing options. There you go.
Okay, great. There it is. Hopefully, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, one of the main reasons that we kind of, on a short notice, wanted to get everybody together was because yes, there are a number of changes as we look to the fall 2020 popcorn sale, but some of those changes involve getting going now. And there may be some of you that as you hear that, you're like, what? We're not ready. And that's okay too. I think what we wanted to do tonight is, because throughout the country, there are kind of some units and families that are were not able to do their spring fundraisers. And so they are kind of ready to go. Those of you that have been a part of the sale know that we typically start with online sales being available August 1st. We did bump that last year. We didn't communicate it very well, but we did last year bump that into July. And so this year we're saying, hey, let's get going in July for those families that and those units that want to maybe take advantage of some of the good summer weather and what have you. And so we want to go through kind of what we're going live with in July and some of the promotions to make sure that you know about them. Point blank, Danielle and I said, look, we don't want to get to August and have people say, well, how come no one told us about these July promotions? And so that's part of the reason that we wanted to meet tonight, is not only go over some of our changes, but also talk about some of the promotions that are getting going right now. So before we do, I wanted to I just have a quick slide on last year's, let's see, last year's sales numbers. I don't know if you guys have had this communicated. We were just shy of 800,000. I think if we would have known this, I don't know, we would have had, I don't know, me as the rep, I probably should have went and bought $100 worth of popcorn so that we could have broke the 800,000. Anyhow, congrats, it's a great sale. I wanted to show you the top 11 units in the council that sold. And if you're on the call and you see your unit there, congrats. Here's our top 11. I went from 20K and above. So congrats to these units for a great sale in 2019. So as we look to 2020, I think that, again, everybody, even units-wise, even scout families within those units may have a different feeling about COVID and what impact that's had on them and how that's going to affect how they fundraise this fall. And so I think that even though it may not be your particular question, I think that there are families in the Great Alaska Council that are having, that basically have this question of, how do we keep your scouts safe when they sell? And so basically what we've done is we've put together for those scouts that are wanting to make sure that they sell safely, is that we've put together some programs through online sales and different things that would allow a scout to be able to sell and raise the money that they need for their program for the year by following some social distancing best practices. And so we want to talk a little bit about some of these things that are going to be available as July 1st approaches next week. This concept here of how to sell $1,000 social distancing, basically we have a little flyer, and I'm not going to go through this flyer, but we'll make not only this PowerPoint available, but we'll also make this flyer available. But here's 6 steps that a scout could do and suggestions on how they could sell $1,000 through social distancing. And as we look to 2020, one of the things that we had actually been looking at and testing last year was a new concept called online direct. And basically what we're doing is that we are rebranding. When you think of online sales, like in the past, kind of our new 2020 term for that is now called online direct. And really what it is, it's online sales. But through technology in the app, we're actually going to have some additional ways that a scout can actually sell online. And we'll talk about those here. So obviously, being able to have the option to sell online direct to consumer is a safe way for scouts to sell. We're also looking at our Trails In reward system, and we're looking towards moving that to a point system. So rather than the levels be dollar driven, they're going to be point driven. And an online sale will be worth more points than, let's say, a cash face-to-face sale. So the other thing, a couple other changes with online direct are, one, we're going to be offering traditional products at those traditional prices. And so the same, anybody that's been involved in the sale and been involved in having scouts do online, you've known that it's been a little frustrating with the fact that the online products are at different prices than what's on the take order form. Well, this year, we are taking those products and the prices that they're on your take order form, and those items are going to be available online for the same price. Now, there will be shipping, and that's just, unfortunately, it's just one of those things that as we look to how much we give back to scouting, how much we give back to the council, to the units and all that, it's just unfortunately the way it needs to be with the with the consumer bearing that shipping cost. So we will have a shipping, but you see the tier there, it's $7.99 for the first item, and then any additional item would be 99 cents. So other benefits would be no handling of product, obviously. If you and your unit could say, hey, let's replace all of our sales last year, and I'm not saying this is possible, but if you sold 20,000 through storefront and having product lined up in not only your garage, but in your family room, if you could sell that 20,000 and make the money that you did last year and have it all be online and not have to handle cash and handle product, that would be a good thing. Are we there for 2020? Probably not, but we feel like that's a direction that makes sense to at least invest in. Probably the biggest change with the online direct is that there's going to be a new feature in the app where a scout is going to be able to take an online direct order right within the app. As you know, in the past, the only way that an online sale could occur would be that the scout would share their link or share their code, and then the responsibility was kind of on the shoulders of the consumer to click on that link or to take action and to go into the site, add items to the cart, and check out. And that functionality is all still there, but we're adding the ability now for a scout to be on a doorstep, over the phone, being able to say, will you support me? And the consumer says, yes, send me the product. The scout can literally take the order in the app, collect the address, collect the payment, and be able to then have that product, the order finishes and the product ships directly to the consumer. We also have the ability, you see there, the text order to customer to complete purchase on their phone. So to be truly contactless, right? If the consumer doesn't want to hand the card or for the swiper or manual key it in, the scout can be in the app and literally enter in a phone number and text the cart to the consumer, where the consumer will click on the link, put in their card, put in their address, and complete the order without ever having to have the scout necessarily interact on that payment side of things. So some pretty cool stuff. I noticed, Danielle, that there's some questions. I think what we'll do is maybe kind of let those queue up, and then maybe we can kind of hit those at the end if that's okay. Okay.
This was somebody who was having trouble seeing your screen, so we've
okay.
got it taken care of.
hopefully that's not more than just a 1 or 2. So hopefully you're seeing the screen.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then, so you can kind of see, we've got this new little 62771 download number that's ours. And so there's going to be a number of little codes that you'll be able to, you and your scouts will be able to text, and then certain information will come to you. In this case, the My Plan will actually get you that flyer of that social distancing, how to sell $1,000 social distancing. So look for that. You'll see that probably 2 or 3 more times throughout the presentation. So that's our online direct changes there, and we're excited. Again, we're trying to figure this thing out with online sales. Lots of feedback from families all over the country, top sellers and units, leaders and things saying, look, we just need, if white cheddar's on my form at 20 bucks, I need it to be online at 20 bucks. And yes, there's some shipping, but we're gonna, last year, I think most of you, if you had any experience with online sales, you know that what we did is we took that white cheddar, yeah, it was free shipping, but we charged $30, $35 for it. So last year, to get 2 white cheddars, a consumer was paying $60, $65. Yeah, they got free shipping, but they were paying $60, $65. This year, they're going to pay basically around $48, $49 for those same 2 bags of white cheddar. So in essence, once the consumer adds another item or 2, it most likely will be less of an order value than it was previous year. Okay, so, and here's just a little visual to show you that online direct, it works 2 ways. Share your page like it was last year, and then being able to take online direct orders right within the app. So a little flyer that we have to help promote that. So when we look at starting to sell early, what are some of the promotions that we have coming up July 1st? Well, what we're doing is we're going to have a 5% online direct sales bonus commission in the form of an Amazon.com gift card for basically all a unit sales from that July 1st date until August 15th date. And yes, we want you to be registered in the unit commitment tracker that Danielle mentioned as we began, that there were 49 of you already registered. And that's only so that we know where to send the gift card. But a nice little perk there of an additional 5% in addition to the regular commission that you'll get for 35% of online sales. The other thing is we'll have a free shipping weekend, July 3rd through the 5th. And we all know how those go. They seem to boost sales, and consumers love that free shipping. And I can't tell you other free shipping weekends we'll have, but I know that we will have them periodically. How periodically, I don't know, but we hope to have a handful of these throughout the whole fall sale. Another promotion that we're having is that we've got a little entrepreneur challenge. And yes, it's a quite a little feat there, but any scout to sell, well, the first 200 scouts, to sell $2,500 between July 1st and August 15th through this online direct method would receive a $200 Amazon.com gift card. So cool little incentive to get our top sellers and out there selling. So as you may be saying to yourselves, okay, all this push to online, can my scout still sell using the traditional methods, storefront and door-to-door? Absolutely. And we're gonna, at the end of my presentation, Danielle has a few details about the Great Alaska Council specific items regarding the sale. So the answer to that is yes. And all of you know that in 2019 we introduced the app, and we took some heat over some of the things that when we rolled out year 1 wasn't perfect. We had some challenges, but based on lots of feedback from unit leaders all across the country, we've made improvements. Faster, easier, simpler, and time saver. So some of those improvements are We've rebuilt the whole interface in Google Flutter. Now, I don't necessarily know what that means, but any of you tech savvy guys may know. But I have seen the app. It's much smoother. It just flows better. Last year it was kind of clunky. The Google Flutter interface is really, really nice. Faster registration. Scouts can create their account in much less time than it took last year. Any of your scouts that had their account last year, they don't have to create a new one. That account is still still valid. All they'd have to do is log in. I did hear from our people today that the app has been updated on both the Google Play and on the in the Apple Store. So if you'd like to tonight, maybe go do a refresh. If you've already have the app, if you haven't downloaded it, go ahead and download it. You can see we've streamlined the checkout, 9 clicks last year down to 4. So being able to quickly process those transactions. We talked about the online direct right within the app. Consolidated views, things where in last year you had to click on multiple screens to get the information. We've consolidated information, just made it a lot more user-friendly. All right. Like I said, those enhancements will be ready July 1st. I actually think they're ready now, but certainly by July 1st. Like last year, within the app, credit card sales and those fees will be paid for by a partnership between the council and Trails Ends. So credit cards are just better. We will be also, I'll talk about it here in a minute more, but those point systems that I talked about with online direct orders having a little bit more point value, well, a take order or a show and sell credit card order will actually have more rewards points involved as well. So we're incentivizing taking a credit card. It's safer. Think about, do we really want to have our scouts handling all the cash this year with COVID and all that? Maybe not a big deal, but I'm sure there are some families who are worried about that. When we analyzed credit card purchases versus cash purchases, orders with credit cards were 27% higher than the cash sales. So if using a credit card helps a scout hit their goal quicker, then that's a good thing. We've got a little parent option where they can pay through a credit card the money they owe their unit leader. I'll talk about that here in a minute. And then the hardware, you still within the app can use a square reader, a Bluetooth reader, or you can key the credit card in manually. That hasn't changed. Here's kind of the looks on the far left over there is what the screen looked like last year. Here's a couple screenshots of this year. You can just see it just looks better. And we're excited about it. We talked about the benefits with the free credit card processing. Obviously, in a year that we don't want, in regards to leftover inventory, we don't want units to be stuck with inventory. We don't want the council to be stuck with inventory. We at Trails End, we don't want to have inventory. We just can't in a year like this year. And so obviously using the app gives us real-time data. It gives us a real-time look into a unit or a scout's inventory, how much they've sold of it. It's just critical this year with what's going on with COVID. So here's this little option, the families, if you have some units like to give a family, they check out, maybe the family checks out $200 in popcorn. And let's say that scout goes and sells all of that, or let's say 100 of it is cash and 100 of it is credit card. Well, or let's say in our example here that all 200 of it is all 200 is credit card. Well, rather than being able or having to take all that cash and have it as my family and having to get that over to my unit leader, I'm going to have an option in the app to be able to literally charge my card $200 so that it'll go to the unit leader and pay down the unit's invoice with the council. And I would be able to then take that cash and just deposit it into my account so that I'm not having to transfer all that cash back and forth. So hopefully you as a unit leader are thinking, this is great. thinking of all the cash that has to go back and forth with families to the unit kernels. So you can see the other items there on the slide. The results last year were pretty good. The app we did handle a lot of transactions. We had a little Saturday after Labor Day. We did have some downtime for a couple hours. We apologize for that. Once we got over that hump, as far as being down, we were up the rest of the year. Certainly had a few other glitches here or there that we were able to take care of. I'm being told by our team that all of those have been nipped in the bud, and that things are going to be a lot better this year with the app. So if you're wondering how to download, you can text app to 62771, and that would give you a link to either the Apple Store or Google Play. Okay, another little promotional piece about the app. Danielle talked about registering your unit. Just a little plug here. If you haven't had a chance, click on the, you can go to trails-n.com. Up in the top right corner, it says register. You go, you choose your council, you choose your district, choose your unit, and you register for the sale. That will allow Danielle to see that you're registered. Is it like a firm contract that you have to sell? No, but what it will do is it will put you on everybody's radar so that you can be informed of what's going on and kind of stay up to date on the latest and greatest. And it tells Danielle that you're at least thinking about selling. The other thing that we have offering is webinars. Last year we did about 30 webinars, and this year we're offering 200 webinars throughout. Starting now, they're going to go probably through the end of August. We would encourage you, strongly encourage you, to click on the link there. You can text webinar to 62771 to get the schedule, the link. Click on the link. It'll take you to where you can then choose the category of either the top sellers, the 75 to 20K, 0 to 75, depending at the level you're at. Register and attend a webinar. And that's our motto this year up top there. Every question asked, every question answered. Our guys, basically it's a 26, 27 minute recording. And then once that happens, our team jumps on live and they literally will stay on until every question is answered. Doesn't mean you have to stay. You can bail out when you're ready, but our team will stay. We attend them every once in a while, and I was on one the other night. And we went about an hour and 45 minutes answering questions, great questions from leaders from all over the country. And so strongly encourage you. You can see that the units that attended a webinar last year nationally grew 11%. Here locally, what we found is that when we looked at the sale, I'm going to show you some numbers here. There's a lot of numbers here. I'll try to make this simplify it by telling you that basically what that top line is showing you is that the council was down just a tiny bit, a couple percentage points. But when we looked at those units that attended the webinar, which down here was 6, those units that attended the webinar last year, those 6 units grew 35%. This line right here were a couple things. One, the unit was on Facebook, our Facebook page, which I'm going to promote here in a second. They used the app to where at least 75% of their sales were in the app. They had the reward system, and they attended the webinar. We looked at those 4 things. There were 5 units in the council that did those 4 things, and they grew 36%. And so our programs are working, and just kind of emphasizing that there's help out there. If you're not on our Facebook group, here's another little promotion here. You can type Facebook to the 62771. It'll text you instructions on how to join. Hopefully those of you that are on the Facebook page can give testimonials, positive testimonials that it's a great thing, resources from unit leaders like yourself all over the country. So if you haven't had a chance to join, please do so. Okay, a couple more and then we're done. The rewards, here's kind of the new prize flyer. Again, it's a point-based reward system with an emphasis in online direct and using credit cards. So you can see 2 points for every online direct order. So a scout literally, I know the last year that entry level was $350. Yes, now it's 400 points, but if a scout sells $200 through online direct, they're already at with the 2-point system for all those dollars, they're already at the base level. So you can see where the points go all the way up to there's levels that we couldn't make the prize flyer big enough. But the levels go all the way up to 17,500. And once you go over 17,500, then it just goes to a straight 10% of your points in the form of an Amazon.com gift card. And your scouts will be able to, there's going to be much more visibility into this in the app this year. There's going to be, as the scouts selling and recording their sales in the app, it's going to be, telling them how close they are to the next level, suggesting prizes that they can, these pictures here will be able to flash on the app. Anyway, it's going to be really cool in how these rewards should really motivate our scouts. The next slide is our products. Obviously, in a year like this, there's a number of challenges with us in production. I think anybody that's read stuff knows that companies are just having to make adjustments, and we're no different. We used to, in a normal, the previous 39, 40 years, Trails End would produce 60, 70% of the sale, which is about $70, $80 million in product. We would have that all produced, ready to go by August 1st. Well, in a year like this year, that's just something we just can't do. If we were to produce that product and COVID were to come back and everything were to shut down with this popcorn sale, having that much leftover inventory would ruin us as a company. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be a little tighter on the inventory and making sure that when units are selling the product, that we can then produce and get product out to the councils quicker than before. And Danielle's going to talk a little bit about that. You'll see an adjustment that we're making for you guys here in the Great Alaska Council. So as we look at the products, here's the products that will be available on the take order form and available to do face-to-face sales. So you'll notice that the Chocolate Lovers Tin and the Chocolate Crunch and the microwave, those items are going to online direct only this year, unfortunately. So these are the 7 items that will be on the table. We're sorry about the microwave. It's just, unfortunately, it's just going to have how it's going to have to be. We were going to go to a 12-pack and still offer it at 20, and we kind of came up with the idea of having this ready-to-eat unbelievable butter that would be priced at $15. And I don't know how you guys feel, but a lot of people are really excited about having a little lower priced item and having a big bag of ready to eat. But these are products that we can produce very quickly and a lot of it in a short time. And so these are the products that would be available on the table, so to speak, at a storefront or on the take order form. Those other 3 items would be online exclusive only items. So the last thing I have is, and then we'll kind of turn it over to Danielle, is that we do have the promotions for your scouts. Here's the online items here. Promotions for your scouts, basically, if your scouts sold between $1,000 and $34.99, then they will receive a square reader from us when they log into the app. We know who those guys are. And or those gals too, excuse me, those scouts. Anyways, they'll then be prompted to say, hey, claim your reader. They'll choose whether they want a headphone jack square reader or a lightning reader based on whether they have an Apple or an Android. Okay? So pretty cool. And then we will literally take those readers and ship them directly to those scouts. And then any scout that sold 3,500 and above, which was a handful for the Great Alaska Council, they're going to get a Bluetooth reader, so they'll be 100% contactless. So kind of exciting. So those are our promotions and kind of our program changes. Some of you may have already read about those in the email that we sent you, but here's the details. Again, we wanted you to know about these promotions starting July 1st. And I don't know, Danielle, if we want to just go right into your stuff now, and then we'll kind of field questions at the end. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, let's finish up and then I'll stop the recording and we will answer all the questions that are coming.
Okay,
Sounds
great.
the
All right,
plan?
take it away and just let me know when you want me to advance the slide.
Okay, go for it. So, Great Alaska Council dates to remember. As for this year, we're trying to get product into your hands more frequently. We unfortunately don't live right next to a distribution center. We're a hop, skip, and a jump over the ocean away. So as you see here, July 1, our online direct sales will start, and I hope everybody that's going out camping will most likely be in cell service and can wander around to the other campsites and introduce themselves. Our first order, much like last year, will be due August 9th. My hope, after hours of spending time on the Linden and AML website, for the popcorn to arrive in Anchorage approximately August 30th. What we're going to do is we're going to cart that out to Camp Gorsuch. Again, because of COVID, we don't know that we're going to be allowed into the Linden warehouse to distribute it like usual. So we're going to call all of Wasilla and Palmer. We're going to call Eagle River and Anchorage. Everybody come out to Camp Gorsuch for distribution on the 1st and 2nd of September. After that, actually a day before that, your popcorn should arrive in Juneau. And then from there, we will ship out to, where do we ship out to? Ketchikan, Sitka, Kodiak, and then I'll give you guys those dates as we get to them. The second order, we're going to do a mid-sale order, will be due September 13th. Our goal is to have storefront sales September 10th, 11th, and 12th. If we are going to be able to. So based on those sales, based on the read that you have, we're going to ask if you need another delivery to make a second order on September 13th. For that order, we're going to distribute in Anchorage, October 6th and 7th, and the order should arrive in Juneau, October 5th. Our final order, the third, October 18th, right on the schedule for the last several years, a mid-October order. It should arrive in Anchorage November 9th. We'll get it out to camp and we'll distribute the 10th and 11th, and the order should arrive in Juneau November 9th. Payment will be due at the time that you pick up your product and by November 13th at the close of business day. This year, late fees will be enforced. Want everybody to be aware of that and prepared for that. You'll get several more reminders, but there will be no late fee, or we want no late payments this year. All right, next slide. Recently approved by our executive committee and board, our team has gotten together after the $170,000 of product that was returned last year, and we will be starting with a return policy for 2020. A unit will be able to return no more than 10% of their orders and no more than 10% of any one product. We want you to order smart. We want you to order carefully as possible. And that is why we've added 3 orders. Next slide. Popcorn commission. We've switched it up this year. So everybody will have 30% base commission to all units who pay their invoices on time. 1% for attending the Trails End webinar. We acknowledge how much of an impact this has made on units who have attended the webinar, and we would like to see everyone do that. 1% for an average of 400 sales per scout, 1% for an average of 500, 1% for an average of 600 sales per scout, and last, a 1% incentive for a unit who returns 3% or less of their orders. It has been done. I know down in Juneau for the last many years, they have not been able to return product like we have in Anchorage. So we would like to encourage everyone to return as little as possible going forward. Just a little update for you guys to please go back to your units and share. A lot of scouts earned a Campership through the 2019 sales, or their families paid with the earned scout bucks. We hear you, and we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So any scout that registers right now, charters were due a month ago, not that anybody in this council would be late, but anybody that registers for the 2020-2021 year, we will make sure that you will have mailed Scout Bucks to you before the end of July. I'm getting Scout Bucks printed now, and I'm hoping that extra week of time will have lots of units turn in their charters, and I'll be able to mail out for those who paid with Scout Bucks and earned a Campership. The one thing I want to make everybody aware of is traditionally in the council, when you use a Scout Buck in the Scout store, it's worth $2. So it's a 1-to-2 ratio. Going forward, for simplicity, it'll be a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you paid $20 total in Scout Bucks, you will receive $20 in Scout Bucks in the mail directly to your family. All Scout Bucks will expire December 31st, 2021. We're only 53 weeks away from the 2021 summer camping season, and we're excited and we're looking forward to it. We can't wait to have the Scouts back out of camp. And I believe that's the end of my slides. So I'm going to stop the recording